Welcome to Electa Live's new classroom. I'll show you around and give you a good starting point which will help you start immediately. This is the main control bar. It consists of a number of different tools. When you and your students enter the classroom, the microphones are muted by default. This is because we do not want any background noises and distractions. In a live online class, we normally have the presenter who's explaining while the others are listening. This is another reason why we have our students on silent during the explanation process. When students want to ask or answer questions, they have to activate their microphones, as it is not a good idea to have all people speaking over each other. To activate a microphone and speak in a live session, users have to click on the microphone button. In turn, to mute it again, they simply need to click on the same button again. The availability of the microphones also depends on the classroom permission settings, which you can adjust and control from your Electa LMS. You may have all microphones disabled or have speaking permissions granted to everyone by default. The setting also depends on your audience. If you're training younger children or larger groups, you may want to have all microphones disabled by default. The second button is the webcam. This is how we activate the live video. Though live video is not considered an online teaching technique, you may want to have your webcam live streaming. Students can stream their live video if permission is granted. When a live video is started, it is not automatically pushed to all users because some users may be running on slow bandwidth or may feel too distracted by watching the video. To watch a video from someone who's live broadcasting, you have to click on the small webcam image that shows next to their name in the attendees list. The third important button shows the whiteboard and the presentation area. I'll get back to that later. If we want to share our screen, we can use the screen sharing button. Then we move to the guided web browser option. It takes all users to a web page at the same time. This could be any page, even a YouTube page. In certain cases, we may also want to do instant polling, although I'll get back to all of these later in this tutorial. Now, let's look at the attendees area. It displays a list of all attendees currently present in our live class. To distinguish students from teachers and moderators, all teachers and moderators are in a darker font, whereas all the ones in a thinner font are students and all other users. Next to each attendee, there is a set of small icons displaying certain statuses. For example, when an attendee's microphone is on, the small icon turns red to indicate its activation, or when the webcam is on, the camera icon appears. We also have a screen sharing indicator and a typing notification icon. Above the attendees area, we have the motion buttons. This is how our students raise hands, smile, applause, and quickly answer yes or no. Our motions appear next to each attendee's name when clicked on. The first one allows students to raise their hand similarly to what they would be doing in a live classroom. You can see the total number of people raising hands, as well as the number next to each user showing the order. The next two buttons are used to say yes and a no. They can also be used as an agree and disagree. Then we have the applauding button, and I believe it speaks for itself, just like the smiley face. When a teacher clicks on a user, when they're raising their hand, he can trigger it off. For more options, you can go to the user menu. This is accessible by going over any user and clicking left or right. This displays a number of options for this specific user. With this at the very top, you can watch the user's live video if it is turned on. Furthermore, you can now send both private notes and private messages directed to that user. You have the option to quickly promote anyone to a moderator or back to a student. This all happens without having to change the user profile details in the database. You also have the option to request the remote user to start sharing their screen. When you do so, the student receives a message to confirm whether they want to do it or not. As a moderator, you can control their mouse and keyboard remotely. When they allow their screen to be shared, it shows up in the whiteboard area where it is public, and everyone else can also see it. In turn, when you're screen sharing, you can grant remote control over your screen to another attendee. Moderators can permanently mute microphones so they cannot be turned on by disruptive users and can only be unmuted again by a moderator. This, of course, can be done at any time. Normally, students do not have whiteboard controls, but you can give them access to draw and write on the whiteboard by using the options here. At the very bottom, teachers have the option to remove a student from the session and can provide a reason for doing so if they wish. Right beneath the attendees area, you can find the text messages area. This is where you and your students can communicate through the use of text messages. One of the many options accessible from the three dots up here are message permissions, but we'll come back to it in a minute. I will now show you how to prepare for your live class. Each time a user enters a live session, we recommend that a quick audio test is run. The audio test is accessible from the three dots. During an audio test, users check their audio settings and adjust the volume. Users can also perform a microphone test and make adjustments if needed. The menu option allows you to change your present status. This way, you can let the rest of the attendees know that you're currently away from your computer without having to actually exit the session. When you're back, use the same option again. The next section of the main menu provides you with 3 different ways to order your attendees list. Here, you can see and write any session notes. Session notes are very helpful too, as they are easily accessible and improve organization during the live session. They can be used as ordered questions from students, which you have to answer after you finish your presentation, unlike text messages, which may be scrolling a lot faster. Next up, we have the breakout rooms. The breakout rooms are kind of sub-rooms to the main classroom. You can split your main room into sub-rooms for more individual collaborations. Any moderator can create as many breakout rooms as they wish and can move the user to them in any wanted order. From here, you can create those rooms. This sends you to any of the created rooms, and from here you can bring everyone back to the main room. The following button takes you to your presentations library. You can also access this from the folder at the top. This is the place where you store your files and presentations, which can then be run on the whiteboard. As this is a permanent library, you do not have to upload your files every time, and frequently used files can be quickly accessed from the library at any time. If you wish to upload a file which has not yet been used, you can go to Upload, select File, and choose any file you have on your device. The next few options are permission related and can only be set by moderators. Chat permissions consist of 3 different variations: both public and private chat available, both public and private chat disabled, and private chat alone disabled. Any moderator can also either enable or disable the notes section. Text messages can also either be cleared or they can even be saved in your documents folder. It is available by right-clicking on the text chat area. On the main menu, you also have access to mass enabling or disabling of the microphones. This instantly takes away the ability of any of the users to turn on their microphones or removes the constant mute. Other further adjustments related to the quality of your microphone, camera, and just general connection can be done from Settings and Connection. Your internet connection can be checked from here. If your internet is simply just slow, you can enable My Internet is Slow. Electa will adjust the quality so your connection will not be an issue. At the very bottom of the main menu, you can reconnect without exiting the session. Now, let's look at the whiteboard, which is also used as a presentation area. This is the most important and central part of the classroom. This is where you run your tutorials, show files, and run slides. You can draw, highlight, or use other markup tools which can be accessed from the drawing toolbar. You can write in different colors, highlight, rub out anything, or type. You can also place a number of shapes and even insert a square-like field for more mathematical subjects. There are pointers that can be used to make explanations more clear, or you can choose any clip art images from the clip art library, which is accessible through the star. These are the different colors you can use, and with this you can adjust the thickness of the tools. All these can be used over any backdrop, including presentations. You're also provided with different scaling options, which makes it easier for users on different displays and devices to see the slides. If you want to instantly add another whiteboard and at the same time keep the old one, you can do so from the plus next to the presentations library. Going back to our side menu, as already mentioned, from here you can use a guided web browser. This takes all users to a certain web page. You can even show YouTube videos or any other that you may want to use. However, there are some specifics and limitations. For security reasons, the guided web browser will not navigate behind password-protected pages. From here, you can start screen sharing. This allows your screen to be seen by all the users in the live session. Apart from only you navigating on your own screen, you can also give remote control to one of your attendees. To stop screen sharing, you simply need to click onto the whiteboard button. Sometimes the teacher, as trainer, may wish to have feedback from the students as you do not physically see them in front of you. Online polling is a good way to check if they follow you. You can do so through the online polling button. First, you type your questions and insert several options as answers to your students. Then you send your poll. As students start answering, you start receiving their answers. Another option is to combine your poll with a slide. You can have your question on a slide on the whiteboard along with an image if needed, and answers of any kind, and then a poll consisting of, let's say, please answer the question and numbered answers. With the Electa Classroom, you can also record your session. This is a very useful option for students who are not able to attend the class. It is up to you, however, to set playback permissions from the Electa Learning Management System. Your recorded classes can also be used as part of your self-paced courses. To start a recording, click the recording button, and when done, click the stop button. At this point, your recording will be generated on one of our servers. You can access it from your recorded classes menu in your Electa LMS. You can download the recordings to your computer and anytime to your computer or delete them. We'll keep your recordings as long as you have an active subscription with Electa.